Hello, Mr. Minnick, helping students with this particular worksheet that's interactive using the Python programming language. This first, here is the worksheet. If you're looking at this title here, lists worksheet 2 in the spring 2020 semester. It relates to this computer program that's stored at the website Replit. And hopefully by the time you watch this video, it's still there and I haven't removed it for some reason. The goal is to use complete sentences to explain about 10 crucial commands, functions really, that work with list variables in Python, which are probably very useful to Facebook, YouTube, maybe even Snap, and other companies that have lists of data that other people read, or photo lists and photo galleries and such. Okay, the first question, describe what the len function does. So here we see in purple is the use of the len function. Len needs a set of parentheses after it, and inside the parentheses, the name of a list variable. Well, scores is a list variable. You see from line 1 because it has square brackets around a bunch of numbers. That's called a list variable. And when I run this program, it prints out a bunch of stuff over here, and you might not understand until, you watch this video. But the very first number that shows up over here on the right, this 3, is sort of the answer to what happens on line number 2 there. So why did a 3 print out because of line number 2 that you see on the left of my window? Can anybody answer that live here on February 25th in period 8-9? Loudly, Sam, for YouTube. It describes the length of, yes, the group of numbers, the list variable. So it produces or gets or prints out the length. And right now that length is 3 because 80, 70, and 60, perhaps they're miniature golf scores. Hey, I'm going to add mine manually. You're allowed to do this when you do this worksheet. You're allowed to put a comma there. And let's say that I shoot a 30 on the miniature golf, which is like a lot of hole in twos because 18 holes, 30, it's like an average of 2 or 3 putts per. So now when I run this, 4 shows up there as the corresponding output for that first print command. Well, because there are 4 numbers there. But even if it were a 60, like a double, it's still going to be a length of 4, even though there are 2 60s. So now moving on, after you wrote your sentences for that answer there, what does the len function do? The next question that you can interactively answer by playing with this Replit program is describe how the square brackets are being used above and why you must be careful. Well, the 4 we can ignore now. The tailer is what is printing out because of line 13 right now. Taylor is printing out, which doesn't at first make sense because it says names 1. Well, the name of the list variable here is names. Gwen, Taylor, and Billy are in the list, but Taylor is printing out and not Gwen. Most people, say your parents or your friends, that don't have this class at this high school, would think that Gwen is what should print out as the first name. But no, if you change this 1 to a 0 and then re-execute or run the program, you see proof that Gwen prints out. Hey, can anybody in this room answer what number would I put here with the question marks so that Billy prints out? Matthew, what number?
2.
Okay, whoops, typo alert. Okay,
No.
You said 2.
Yeah,
I'm running it.
2.
I'm breaking the internet right now.
Right?
I'm breaking it. Too late.
Digits.
Oh, the digit 2. Okay. I just wanted the internet to see that, well, you have to type actually the number 2. And now Billy does print out. But why do you have to be careful? Because, well, if you accidentally put a 20 in there, there is no name in position 20. It gives you an error message. So you've got to type a valid index position. You can't put negatives in there either, like -7 would make no sense at all. Well, actually it does. If you put -1, you're not supposed to really know this in this class, but if you put -1, it comes in 1 from the end, and Billy is 1 from the end. So like -2 is another way of printing Taylor. But if you have -4 or above, it actually, from the back, it goes off the left end. Anyway, Python's very flexible. Normally, we just put small numbers in there that match up with the position numbers. Next question. Oh, I did that for you on the worksheet. See how I hashtagged on line 14, print names 15? By removing that hashtag and then running it, you would have seen that there was an error message in the attempt to print out the name that's in position 15. So I kind of embedded the as errors, I embedded them on this worksheet. Next, scores 1. How are square brackets being used there? Well, 90 is replacing whatever is in position 1 because of the way scores 1 equals 90 works. If you look closely at this line right here where I'm waving my mouse in this video, that 90 overwrote the 80 that we're seeing here. Hey, who can make a prediction that if I change that to a 2 instead of the 1, what's going to print out over here as the third line of output? Somebody other than Matthew. Okay, everybody's, Matthew, I'm desperate.
80, 70, 90.
Good. Let's test that theory though. I'm running it, and he's correct, 80, 70, 90. There are no edit, you can't undo this. In code, sort of like you can't undo what prints out. That'd be like changing your tweet and editing it if Twitter allows that. I forget if Twitter lets you do takebacks on Twitter. Sometimes I'm careful what I say so I don't have to like make a change. Next, append. Can anybody in this room explain what append does by seeing the 150 here as this corresponding output? Lena. What's that? Yep, to the very end, in the order that you appended them on lines of code. So you got to be careful of your order. I wonder if there's a prepend. I know in English, as a vocab word, there's a word prepend. I wonder if they have a command. I'm just going to like test it. I'm testing it. I like to like sometimes just test things. Oh, no, there is no prepend, even though it's an English word, although it turns purple. Interesting. Well, look it up right now. I have no desire to make this video longer by just messing around with things that I'm experimenting with. Gwen, Taylor, and Billy, and then insert 1, J-Lo. When I run the program and eye up and match up the output over here that's matching with line 56. Sometimes I do this when I do a worksheet like this. I type a print like line 54. So in double quotes or without double quotes, you could put like line 54 so that I know whatever comes right after that is sort of like right here, line 57. So right now, this over here with J-Lo inserted between Gwen and Taylor, that's how insert works. The new position 1 is J-Lo. J-Lo probably thought she was like number 1, but Gwen Stefani is still number 1 in Mr. Minnick's, well, playlist.
Well, technically, she's number 0.
Technically, she's my favorite on my playlist. position 0 in Python, but number 1 if you like go around telling her that because that'd probably be an insult. Say you're number 0 on Mr. Minnick's playlist. That might actually not come off well. J-Lo did well at the Super Bowl, but still Stefani is up there higher because she married that guy who's a country singer, and I like his music too. So it's like a 2-for-1 deal. Are they married? They were together as judges on that one show. Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton? No, I don't like the Yankees. I don't want to talk about A-Rod. Anyway, sorry, YouTube audience, but I'm a Dodgers fan. Country music's awesome, first of all. Anyway, I think I gave you an idea of how to do this worksheet by matching up the right-hand output with the left-hand side. I look forward to reading full, complete sentences when this worksheet is turned in.